It's early morning here, and I guess for some of you it's still morning, but not an early one. And welcome to the VIOT dedicated for OPSB COSO. And this is the first one of its kind because it's not based on Delta. It's because it's based on COSO technology, which has been around for quite a while. But now, when it becomes so dominant in OPSB Suite, we decided to make a dedicated training just for it. And according to those that already took the training, it's super fun. So I hope you will like it. So what is it going to be about? First of all, those of you that are not familiar with me, this is your first time. My name is Alexei, and I have been here for about 6 years. Actually, I know exactly how long I have been here because 1 week after I started, I had my second daughter. So that's almost 6 years now, about 1 month of it. And of work, I do some music and I'm a free diver and also an occasional YouTuber. It is funny, but I do have a YouTube channel for OPSBridge, which I do in my spare time. I guess work never ends. So if any of you ever search for something related to OPSBridge and found a YouTube video, this was probably me. And also joining us would be Alon Lifshitz. He's a colleague of mine, and he has been here for 10 years. And off work, he does some religious studies. So Alon is religious and he studies all the Jewish religion-related stuff. So it's not just a practice for this kind of particular religion, but also he has kids. He's done rappelling. He's a very interesting fisherman because he just gets lucky all the time. And he'll be here in about 1 hour from now. And let's talk about the schedule. We'll get the boring stuff out of the way. So at all days, we start at the same time. And when as I start, we connect to this session. Probably there's going to be a presentation done by either by us or by technical success or by R&D or somebody else. And also we'll do a recap of every day just to get it started to see where we stand. And it's going to be open for 8 hours. And the course is designed to be actually 6 hours long plus about 2 hours of buffer. So you would be able to complete the exercises in between, and we'll still be here to give you support in case it's needed. Okay. And now when we are done with presentations, please remain in the chat room. You don't need to be connected to audio, but please remain in the chat room because some of the presentations are in the middle of the day. We try not to have them, but there is no choice. And when we are going to say, well, guys, 5 minutes or 10 minutes till the next presentations, please start connecting to audio or something like that. So please monitor the chat at all times, and it will just give you more ability to understand where we start the presentations. And also, in case there are some support issues like environment issues or exercise issues that someone found, you would be able to track that progress and implement it on your own environment. Okay, when you need help, just please ping us in MS Teams and we will see how we can help. I specialize in everything related to CDF and OBM and Sidescope. Alon specializes in everything related to reporting and APM. So we do have division of knowledge between us, and then we will just decide who is responsible for that kind of issue to fix it faster. All right. Now, of course, there are many of you. There are going to be about 30 students. Usually there are 20 students in a setting like this, but we said, you know what, we're going to have 30 students, and it's completely fine. But please remember that when we are supporting someone on their environment, we cannot really see the chat at the moment or divert from our support. It's just the way that online courses work. In the classrooms, those of you that are familiar with me, I'm jumping from computer to computer, doing backflips and everything, and I can operate a few issues at the same time. But in a Teams meeting, when I connect to someone's environment, I cannot really operate the environment and the chat, trying to figure out what's going on. So please be patient with us, ping us, and see that we will try at least to acknowledge that we saw your message. But also, we are humans and we might miss something. So if you see that in 15 minutes there is no ping from us, we're not acknowledging or we're not responding, tell us again, or you can maybe even send us an email in case we've missed it. We are not intending to miss anything or to disrespect somebody or something like that, but it happens. 30 students, many issues that might arise. So please definitely let make sure that we know about the issue, but we will make the most effort not to get to this problem. I think last week it happened only once, and that was fine. So what's going to happen in this lab week? First of all, OBM, Sitescope, BBD, APM, Vision, Kubernetes as the products that we're going to touch. There's going to be a little bit more, but those are the general ones. And as you see, Kubernetes, while not being a product over here, but we still treat it as such because it's gonna have a presence of its own, I believe. And each of you would get a personal farm. And when I say personal farm, I mean the whole thing. Personal hardware server with its internal networking for the VMs and a set of VMs. And you are going to operate it, and whatever you do does not affect the other students in the classroom, which is fantastic. So yeah, that's a good thing. The bad thing might be bad thing. I'm not really sure. Is that it's located in Sacramento, so it might be not as fast as you would expect, but you get hands-on experience, which is super nice. And the target audience are the beginners that completed the essentials training, at least. Now, if I know that while we intended to be for those that completed the essentials, some of you did not get the chance to do it. Do not worry, the exercises are written in a way that allow you to finish the lab week even without essentials. You just will have to complete some of your training later or complete some of the terminology in order to get the best of the training or what we meant behind it, but you will be able to complete the lab. Okay, of course, advanced users are going to be benefiting the most from it because it's just going to add to their current skill set. And the time we already mentioned, it's 6 hours per day. One of them is lunch. And also, before I jump in, another thing that I wanted to mention, we understand we are all working from home. And it's not like, in the past, we were just flying to some other country, living in a hotel, doing our work. Everything is set aside just for us to train. When you work from home, there are meetings that you cannot just not attend. There are things that you need to address. We understand it. This is why we have those buffer hours. It's completely fine during the exercises to just go to a meeting, do a thing, return back. We understand completely. It's fine. Don't feel bad about this. It's a part of life. The training is built for you to succeed, even if you're doing some of your day job during the course. Completely fine. Okay, what we're going to have there. First of all, we are going to have a PM session, and today's PM session will start 3.5 hours from now. We will have Harald Burrows from Germany. He is the PM director, and he is going to deliver the update on everything related to COSO to us personally. It's a 2-hour session, and it's a fantastic one. I'm very much recommend it for everybody outside of this classroom, and we as people in the classroom don't have a choice but to be there, and it's a really good thing. You get to ask questions, and please do. Questions are important. Okay, but in terms of exercises, what you're going to do with me, we are going to perform a lab setup, and we are going to perform today exercises 1 through 7, and I'll show you what I mean by that, but that's the plan for today. Now, on day 2, we are going to get in the morning, right in the morning, we're going to get a presentation by our 2 R&D teams for COSO, data consumption, and one of the R&D teams is the generic COSO team that develops the platform, and another one is the OPSBridge COSO team that deals with integrations and everything in OPSBridge world. Then with the help of technical success team, we are going to get a custom BVD dashboard presentation and an exercise. And also we're going to perform some CLI related exercises just for fun, just to understand how OPSBridge can be useful or creative in the realm of its own internal tools. And the exercises are going to be just two exercises, 8 and 9. Don't worry, it's not, it's still a lot. That's completely fine. And it's also an opportunity to complete the exercises in case you were not able to complete today's exercises today. You can just transfer some of them to tomorrow. On day 3, we are going to learn something about bring your own business intelligence tool from technical success. We are going to have an AEC theory session and an AEC exercise. And also we are going to do some performance dashboard by technical success, where the performance dashboard is related to COSO, of course, as well. And we are going to complete all of the exercises, which would be number 10 through 14. So on day 3, we are kind of expected to complete all of the exercises, but don't worry, in case you are still not able to do, there is time, no worries. On day 4, it's going to be all about troubleshooting. It's only half a day, and those are going to be 4 hours of really cool presentations, getting to understand this whole CTF and COSO and internal mechanisms and internal relationships and how it branches out into other products. This is where you get all of it in terms of course, fixing it when it doesn't work, but also because you completed 3 days of training, you would be able to ask questions with more relevancy, with more understanding about what is it, that thing that you are asking about, because you will have a frame of reference that you built with your own hands. So definitely lots of room for questions over there. And boy, did we have a lot of them last week. We even went above the 4 hours. I think we did almost 5 hours because there were so many issues that everybody wanted to know about. It was really great. And then it's going to be end of course. Now, of course, the environments that you're going to get, they are going to be recycled on Friday. Okay, so while we end the course on Thursday, we are not going to just shut down your access to them. We are going to leave it there for you to complete the exercises. So there is a time. There is time, and we will try to support you as much as possible through chat, email, or everything. Of course, there's not going to be a audio connection to the team meeting, but you will get help in case you need one. And that means that you have all of the possibilities to end those exercises successfully and on time. Okay, now some of the exercises are performed on external environments, meaning that we are going to connect to a BVD on AWS, and we're going to connect to Vertica through bring your own BI tools in AWS. They were prepared for us by the technical success team. And for those specific exercises, you cannot use the lab machines. You'll have to use your own laptop, namely to install and power the Power BI and Grafana. One second, sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay, so you're going to install them on your own laptops, connecting to the environments from your own laptops. That's going to be a little bit different. Now, in case you have a MacBook or something that doesn't allow installations of that sort, it's okay. We can provide you with an AWS Windows machine or something. There was no need to do it in the past 2 weeks, so I guess it's very rare that something like this, some limit like this happens, but know that there is an option. All right. Now, the mission is, of course, go everything in COSO, experience it, learn about it. Okay, start from data collection, then go to data consumption, make it sequential. Tell us, we're going to try and use it like a story, right? It's a journey from getting the data, using the data, utilizing the data effectively. Okay, and the idea is, of course, that after you finish this bootcamp, you'll go on your way and you'll be able to perform COSO POCs. You'll be able to discuss COSO with customers and all of the terms, maybe in competitive terms as well. So that's what we try to do over here. Now, you received a link, a registration code and everything for the documentation portal last week. And just I wanted to get some things out of the way because everybody asked me, well, you know, would my access to the portal would it be revoked next week? No, it's forever. You are going to use the portal indefinitely. You just got there and it's there. Same goes for exercises and everything that you see in there. It just stays. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, anywhere. Sorry. And also another question that we get asked a lot is, what about hard copy, like a PDF or a Word document for every exercise? Can we get those? And the answer is no. If you want a PDF, you just go and print the page into PDF. But you need to know that we accept your feedback about the portal and about the exercises, and we modify them all the time, trying to make them better, trying to make them as self-reliant as possible, ironing out all the support issues that we might encounter. And it means that if you download a copy into PDF, you're probably going to get an outdated copy pretty soon. Okay, so unless you go somewhere where there is no internet, I suggest using the portal as the documentation reference instead of printing it. Okay, instead of having some kind of a hard copy. Otherwise, there's going to be a chance that you will miss some updates that we did to it. So yeah, that's our approach to it. Okay, another thing, when you do exercises, I know that we wrote day one, it's 1 through 7 exercises, tomorrow exercises 8 and 9, and then complete all of the exercises. But please do not abandon your exercises. First of all, there are sequential, there are dependencies. And another thing, every exercise takes you on a journey. You configure something, you press buttons here, press buttons there, run commands, and at the end of the exercise, there is a bottom line. There is this aha moment. There is the epiphany that, oh, that's not what it does. That's how it works. And this is how it's supposed to look like when I do it in my field work later. So it's definitely better to finish the exercise to understand what you did rather than jumping from one to another, trying to complete something arbitrary. Okay, so please stay in the exercises, complete them. It's going to be completely fine. Okay, now the environment is a little bit slow because, well, it's a small environment. There are workarounds, 30 students, 30 hardware servers. There's not going to be big servers. So it's slow, but not that slow. I mean, it's still okay. And of course, when you get stuck, getting help from Alona is completely fine. But in many cases, and I say many, when I say many, it's going to be the majority of the cases, it's going to be a step above or below that will clear it out. So, you scroll a couple of pages up, see if all the steps that were demanded are there, and you might have missed something that might sort out an issue. And when you need help, just tell us, and we will help you immediately, and just to make sure that you have a smooth transition between exercises. Okay, now in case you have feedback for our documentation, do not hesitate. So the point is this: we make exercises, but we build them as cookbooks. So you can use them later outside of the lab as well. But also we are going to use the same lab weeks as running lab weeks or offline lab weeks, where people would be educating on the environments without instructors in the room. So the more issues, the more problems we solve, or the more uncertainties we remove from those exercises, the more self-reliant the future students can be without instructors. Okay, so if you have a feedback, just tell us. We will be glad to fix it, to clarify, to make it more clear. So in 1 month from now, when we will have self-paced lab work from students all around the world, they would be able to complete it without asking for help. Okay, so definitely your feedback is most welcome. And LabVIEW documentation, just to recap, in case you didn't get my email, this is how you register and how it goes there. So I'm going to take this screenshot and I'm going to paste it right here in the chat. Oh, just for convenience, so you have an opportunity, and this would give me an opportunity to go to the next slide. Okay. And in the documentation site, once you are logged in, navigate to OPSBridge, press the green button on the right side, and you can just start working there. Now, let me show you a live demo of everything that I meant so far, so you have some visual representation of what I mean by that. So we will begin with the technical enablement website. So when you go there for the first time, if you click any of the buttons, you will be asked to log in or register. For registration, you will need the code that I specified over here. Where is it? There it is, right? You'll need to use this code when you register. Once you registered, you'll go to OPSBridge. And here you have a lot of things in OPSBridge. So for example, all of the the past materials are kept here for reference, but we are looking for this green button. The green button, it means that this is the currently active training. And for your convenience, there are more things. So when you have time to explore the site, please explore the site. You'll see that there is a documentation index. It's one document that has all of the OPSBridge documents in the same place. Very good for search, very good for quick access to cookbooks when you need to perform some tasks on your own environments. There are some OPSBridge demos. In case you use demo environments that we created, the documentation is right here at the bottom of it, including the newly released Titan. But for the course itself, we will go into the bootcamp using the green button. And here we will find a few things. First of all, there are tabs. Okay. And all of the tabs include all kinds of information, but for lab work, very important. Perform the lab setup first. All steps in the lab setup are very relevant. And then you can start with the exercises. Okay, and all of the presentations that you're going to see this week, including the one that I'm doing right now, will be available here in the presentations. And all of the videos specifically recorded in your region, in your bootcamp, are going to appear on this tab over here. But you already have access to all of the sessions that were recorded in the international or in North America. Okay, so APJ would be filling up with a delay of 1 day, more or less. So you get an opportunity to access all the information that was discussed in this public. When you operate your environments, you need some information about URLs or hosts, passwords, credentials, IP addresses. Everything is here in the third tab. Now, let me show you the lab setup. The first one, of course, is connecting to your environment. So I'll do just that. You'll go to the Blueshift site, and you don't need to register. Sorry, let me log out. You will be using this username and this password. I already have it saved, so just click on login button. And this is how you access your environment. So click on subscriptions and then orders, and all of your environments would appear here. Now, when I'll be done with this presentation, I will send out to you all of the environment distribution by your name. Each of you would get an assignment. But for now, I'll randomly go into environment number 9, and I'll click to connect. Now, it's very important that you use some browser that supports latest technologies, right? So Firefox or something based on Chromium like Chrome, or I'm using Vivaldi over here. Even Microsoft Edge is fine. Internet Explorer might not be as successful, so please avoid it. And what it does, it connects to the RDP, but from your browser. Okay, so this is how it looks like. It connects for the very first time, so it would prefer the session. So let's give it a minute. And let's check the exercise. So it says connect, click connect. So we completed this exercise, this part. We go to perform the introduction to the lab environment. That's going to be step number 2 in our lab configuration. Okay, so here it opens. So as I said, the environments are not very fast, although this server is pretty powerful. Now, why do you access from the browser instead of RDP? It's faster. RDP goes through several gateways until you reach some place in Sacramento, but Blueshift sits in the cloud and it's faster. It has ability to do it a little bit faster for you. And also with browser agnostic. We did experience in the past that not everybody are able to RDP. It was related to ISPs and corporate networks. This is just internet. This is the site end of internet. So if you have access to internet, you are able to connect to the environments without any issues with protocols and ports and firewalls and everything. Okay, so this is why we use it. And it's also more convenient, and people find it even faster. Okay, so once you go to the environment for the first time, as you see, it's just a normal RDP. You might want to say, you know what, my screen is not full HDI. My screen is a little bit smaller, so I need a little bit more screen time, more space. So what you do, let me close that. Before you click to connect, you'll go and, for example, right click and go into full screen. And when you click to connect, the guacamole, that's what powers the RDP session, would be able to read your intention, and it would read the new resolution. So it would change it to full HD over here. As you see now, it's a full screen. And unfortunately, you need a way to get out of it. And to do so, you click Control, Shift, and Alt, and it would open this nice panel over here, and you can exit the full screen. So some of the browsers do not pass the resolution properly. I recommend switching to another browser that does it properly on the first attempt. But in case you experience some issues with resolution that doesn't match your own resolution, your own screen resolution, go into full screen and then get out of the full screen. The methodology that I use here, remember, you press Control, Shift, and Alt to open the panel that allows you to control full screen or not. Okay, cool. So the first setup would be going over the lab setup over here. It says Open Internet Explorer. So I'm going to do just that. And there you'll go to Internet Options and you'll set up the exceptions for security. And we're going to do just that a second from now. Now, everything that I do, you'll need to do on your own environments, except for those, for someone that uses environment number 9, because I'm doing it for you already now. So you are going to get ahead a little bit, but that's completely fine. All right. So we say, ask me later. We will go and open Internet Options. On security, click on trusted sites, and we just add this link, and then we will add it without HTTPS. It just allows the Internet Explorer to access local sites, for example, APM or Sitescope. Then you'll go into the connections tab and LAN settings, and here you'll use this proxy and this port. You see, it's 8088. So we'll set it up, as it mentioned, we'll say 80, 88. We will go to proxy exceptions and copy paste this as well. Now you ask, well, Alexei, why am I doing this? Why didn't you do it for our environments in advance? And unfortunately, when you have environments that are mobile, that are moving from place to place or replicated, not everything can be replicated. And domain accounts have all kinds of issues that are created because we just cloned the environment, right? We prepared one environment and cloned it 30 times. Those are the issues that we need to iron out in order for the environment to work. Now, and we are done with this lab setup. We'll go to the next one. And it says how to control your VMs in vSATA. Sorry, I forgot to mention, we are going to open the mRemote in G software. If you're not familiar with it, we have a link dedicated to just teaching you how to use it, but basically this is how you connect to all of the internal machines, right? So you go to C Bootcamp, you go to mRemote-ng, and you just open it, right? Just open it, or you can right click it and open it as administrator, which is better. It works either way, but less notifications from the system would be sent to you if you right click it like this and say run as administrator. Okay, but nevertheless. So while it opens, let me show you something else. You will power on your environment. So currently the environment is not powered on, only the access VM is up. So we are asking you to go to Google Chrome according to this procedure and navigate to this URL. Okay, this is mRemote-ng. As you see, all of the machines are listed here. Okay, but they are not powered on, not yet. In order to power them on, we will go to the vCenter, and we will use the built-in mechanism to log in. You don't need to type your password, but in case you want to type the password, it's going to be student and the domain name, and this is the password. So you can do it manually. I prefer to use the built-in mechanism. Okay, who is not muted? Who is not muted? Okay,
Took care
everybody.
of it for you. Took care of it for you, Alexei.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think I jumped the gun on that one. It was too slow. So let me use the copy-paste version. It's a little bit faster, but so you know, there is a plugin that is installed on your machine. Probably you'll be able to use it, but I'm going to use this ESWDC student, and I'm going to copy this. Both methods are described in the document, so don't worry. I'm not doing something that is not documented. Okay, and you go into the vCenter. Just give it a second, and you will be able to see your machines. You can save the credentials, for example. You'll be able to see all of the machines that belong just to you. And the point is simple. If you want to revert the machines, or if your machine is stuck, instead of waiting for Alon and I to operate the environment for you, you can do it yourself by just right-clicking any of the AVMs and powering them on, or you can revert to a snapshot. You can revert to latest snapshot, and that's also something that you can do. So definitely you get more control, right? So you'll just go and select all of the machines that are powered off, right-click and power them on. This is how you start your environment. And OPSBridge, it's not lightweight software. So some of the mechanisms over here, they do take time to power on. Okay, like OBM, it will take 15 minutes, right? So if you are super fast and you go to the exercises right now, this exercise would not work because you need to wait 15 minutes before the product started, okay? Which is completely fine. All right, so that was the part of the lab setup where you power on all of your machines, and that's exactly what we did in this exercise. Now, the lab setup continues. It did not end here. If you are new to mRemote-ng, which is the software that allows us to connect to stuff. So for example, now when I connect, I just double click and it just connects for me. Username's password, it's all tabbed over here. So it's super fast, very fast access, very convenient. But if you want to learn it, there is a dedicated document over here, how to do it. Okay, and then it asks you to go to master node here. Okay, when you can ignore those errors and run this command. Okay, it's part of the lab setup. So you do this and it would release the worker node, so it would be able to accept pods on it. Okay, and probably right now the master is still starting, so the command would not work that fast, but you'll need to run it before everything. Oh, there it is. It succeeded. Okay, so this is the lab setup portion, and this is how you do it. And let me close the environment. I don't think I need it anymore. Next would be exercises themselves, which you perform one by one. Just a reminder, you have this host, your host and password. Now, you might notice that I'm jumping a lot between exercises and the RDP, a lot. And my browser and screen size allows me to do it very conveniently. I know that not everybody have screens with full HD, and not everybody are using the same scaling of the screen. My scaling is 100, but many people use scaling 125. It's a zoom, right? It's when you go to your display settings, you might have this scaling set to 125 recommended, which means that you are going to get less screen size over here. So I recommend, in case you do struggle with switching tabs or something, or copy paste doesn't work, please open the documentation site from the inside, log in there once more, and it just provides more speed. Okay, you will be able to jump between topics much faster, perform the exercises faster, and have less noise trying to figure out which of those tabs is really the one that you're working with right now. Okay, if everything is inside the environment, then it's all inside the environment. Now, another important thing that I want to clarify, when we ask you to go into the product RDP or SSH, we mean go to mRemote NG and do it from here. When we ask you to log into the product, like to the GUI or something, we mean to do it from here, from the Access VM, and not from the inside like this. For example, let me go to SiteScope. We find that many people are getting confused between the two, because I understand completely. They look the same and they feel the same, so it's only logical. And when you see this yes or no question, it's always yes. Okay, please do not press no. It would turn on your firewall, and then we'll need to fix it for you. So just press yes, or do not click on anything, right? And what we mean by not trying to log in from inside Sitescope. So when I say go to Sitescope GUI, go to the Sitescope product, you go to Sitescope from outside of mRemote NG right here, not from the inside the machine. It would not let you to connect it, or there are no prerequisites that allow you to open the software from the inside. Okay, I know that I'm stating the obvious here, but when you are first timer with our environment, you just get overwhelmed. You try to complete the exercises really fast. There are a million instructions that you need to do. It's confusing, so I just want to move it out of the way right now. Okay, so I'll disconnect from those environments right now, and let me go back to our slide board. Fantastic. So we did all of that. Just a reminder, click yes when you see this question. It will sort out so many issues. Now, at the end of the week, all of you are going to get certification that you completed this training. And the certification is dependent on this criteria. You need to take 4 out of 6 possible screenshots. For example, 2 of them are possible today, the first 2, and send them to me by email at the end of the week. Okay, we will use those screenshots to certify you. It means that you don't need to stay in the lab at all times. You can do what you need to for your work. Just please connect for presentations, but you can use it, you can complete the exercises at your own pace. We are not going to qualify you for certification based on attendance. We're going to do it based on those specific screenshots. Okay, so at the end of the week, please take 4 out of those 6 screenshots, or all 6. If you did all the exercises, we do expect you to complete all of them, and send them to me by email. So I'll have a historical record of who sent and who did not send me anything. And next week, I'm going to contact our learning management system team, and they will create the certification for you. Okay, so every day I'll take a screenshot of this just as a reminder. And I'm going to paste it right here into the chat. Second, let me move the chat over here. Right, I'm going to the chat and I'm going to paste it here. Please do not miss out on that one, because it's easy. You already did the exercises. Just do one last thing with screenshots and you are going to get certified. And let me see. Alex Joe, sorry, I just have joined the class. Sorry, are you able to advise Are there any document I can follow? Yes. So Alex, please go to the documentation site, mfte.com, as it was specified in the email. And when you go inside, there is the green button, and that's a starter for everything that you need. Okay, basically, once you press here and follow the instructions as they're written, that's all you need to do. Okay, and before we go, let me see if I forgot anything. No, I did not. So now it's time for questions, but also I want to distribute the environments. So let me do it right here, right now. Let's take a screenshot, and I'll send it in two ways. One of them is right here in the chat, and another one, I'll send it to you in an email in a second. Okay. This. Okay, and you'll have it in your email as well. Please access the environments that are only assigned to you and not somebody else's, otherwise we'll be fighting for control. And with this, I'm open for questions. If not, let's start our work. I'll be here to support you, and I'll be connected to the chat. And also, just remember, about 2.5 hours from now, we are going to have a product management session from Harvard Borough. And I'll stop the recording now.